Hello and welcome to another episode of the Mythic World Tour on my Fury Warrior. This is going to be Halls of Infusion, and I did not have a good time with this one, guys. It was lots of wipes, and the run back is so you don't hit a checkpoint at all in this. So the run back is like even if you're at the last boss, you have to start from the beginning and run it all the way back. So there is a route to take a shortcut on the right side here, so I do recommend if you think you're gonna wipe a lot, like clear out some trash on the right so you can take that shortcut. But anyways, these trash mobs aren't too bad. There are a few interrupts. I think there's a healer that puts out an earth shield. There's also mobs that jump to targets, so yeah, right there. So it's probably best to have your healer get a little bit closer, or your range get a little bit closer, so you don't have to run so far and you can AoE them down. These are pretty straightforward though. There's no real like any skips so far that I could see. This trash mob right here, these balls, oh my gosh, they do a lot of damage. You definitely want to interrupt the expulse, and then they do a single like they target someone and do a beam on them that does a lot of damage to them, so the healer's got to watch out for that. You can I don't know if you can AoE stun them, but I know you can interrupt the expulse, and that's the AoE that is pretty hefty for the healer to deal with. Alright, so here's the first boss. I didn't notice anything too wild on him. He does a frontal AoE cone, so any melee should be behind the boss anyways, so that you don't really have to worry about that. The power overload, we start dropping stuff on the ground that you got to get out of, and then he goes into a phase where he spawns these orbs. Now, I didn't know this at the time, but these orbs need to die on the boss. I don't know how many need to die on the boss, but they do, so he can get out of that phase. I didn't know that at the time. I was just killing them willy-nilly, but the tank, I mean, they were close enough to the boss. And then that phases him. Pretty simple. He does some AoE right there. Healer needs to be prepared for it. Rinse and repeat. Just, don't stand and stuff. Alright, so the next trash mobs actually kind of blow. You got to pay attention. If the frogs hit you enough, you get to 10 stacks of something and you die. So AoE stuns, kiting, all that. I don't know if they're actually tankable or if they fixate on people. See right here, okay, yeah, they do. It looks like they do fixate on people, so I didn't really realize that. Those mobs aren't the worst, but when you click on this door, it spawns like a lot of them and they fixate, so the kiting game is where it's at right here. And I thought there was only one wave, so I'm like, oh, I can handle this, and then I died. Because I did, more came out and killed me. So don't do what I did there. Once you get to a certain amount of stacks, you just gotta kite. Don't do... I'm trying to set the example of what not to do. Don't do what I do what I say. These do a interruptible disorient that you can, I don't know if it's a ranged dodge or what. This next trash pack, pretty straightforward, nothing to really deal with here. The demon hunter used his AoE silence. I think they do cast though, to interrupt the cast as much as possible. This, I don't know which one to target, but it does seem like the one there is the smaller one does a cauterize that heals like 50%. So, and you can't stun it or interrupt it. So I don't know if you target her down, she will do the cauterize on herself. I don't think it really matters who you target down. She's gonna cauterize someone. It's damageable through though. Like you can out damage it. Alright, so this boss has some characteristics. He has that toxin thing that I was talking about with the 10 stacks. He spawns these frogs, and I definitely recommend everyone stacking for that, because if they're all not grouped, it's going to be hard to deal with them. Now, we did something wrong, and we let the boss just eat them all. And as you can see, he has a bunch of stacks of something, and that probably means that he's doing more damage. We got away with it because this is a Mythic 0, but a Mythic Plus, you probably don't want him eating all those. So when you get fixated, you don't run into the boss. Try to stack so everyone can AoE them down. Easy peasy. These trash mobs are pretty hefty. They're just interrupt the gel slinger. I think that's what they're called. Interrupt as much as you can. There is a path that runs through here. You could probably do a double pull right there and get away with it. These dragons, just like with any dragon or drake, they more than likely have frontal AoE cones, so watch out for that. Most dragons in all the lore have tail swipes too, but I don't think these do. So this trash right before is, I mean, it's the same thing, it's pretty straightforward. Oh, Gale Singer, not Gel Slinger. The ice colors also, they put an ice shield out. Definitely recommend dealing with that. Here I am standing in front of the Drake because there was lightning on the ground behind them. So if you're gonna stand in front of the Drakes, know when they do the cone so you can get out of that. Alright, this is the last trash pull before this boss. Now, depending on what Mythic Plus you do, like this is probably the biggest pull in these trash mobs. So, but it's right before the boss, so you don't want to be using any cooldowns unless the mobs take enough time to where your cooldowns come back. But if that's the case, then yikes, right? Alright, so for this boss, she does a couple things. One of the things she does is she targets a person and sends a cyclone in that direction. You just gotta dodge it. And the next is Hailstorm, and what you do is you get behind one of these ice things, and it basically takes the brunt of the hit for you. That Glacial Surge you just saw me take, as well as that Cyclone, I'm a dumbass. I just YOLO'd. I didn't care. I didn't think to look up what this boss did. I stood in the Glacial Surge, and then I saw that she did Hailstorm, and I hid behind an already broken Ice Tomb thing, so it wasn't gonna soak anything. So that's why I died. You see, one of the one closest to her isn't broken. You can tell when one is broken. It has cracks and stuff in it, so you want to watch for that. So I did a dumb thing, don't do what I do what I say. I went ahead and skipped through that. I'm not gonna sit there for 4 minutes while the tank solos the boss. Alright, so this next trash is probably the hardest trash in the dungeon. Not because of the difficulty of the trash, it's this, the water cyclones coming through the entire time. It's annoying. I'm not saying they're hard to dodge, but like it's just constant, and it's random variations. Like you don't know when they're coming from next, where they're coming from next. You can look towards the end and keep an eye on it, but you don't know until it comes out. You don't know which side. So I was like, oh, this is annoying. And then we pulled all the mobs. I'm like, oh man, this is wild. Once you get to a certain point, those typhoons stop. Like towards the end, they stop. I don't know where. But we end up killing that. Now we wiped a couple times there, but right. So for this boss, he sends out a bunch of water orbs, stuff on the ground, dodge. He sends out rogue waves. Right there, you saw those. Just basically dodge them. They don't kill, but they do a lot of damage. This is basically a lot of dodging. You see the direction he's facing for the rogue waves, it doesn't look like it actually goes in that direction. So he sends people off in different directions, and you gotta run back while dodging stuff. Now, I was stupid. I didn't know waves were gonna come. You can hide behind these pedestals in the middle for the double wave. And I'm just like, screw this, I don't care. I just ran through everything. I suck so bad. Now, I'm not normally like this. I think this was like the 7th dungeon in a row that we had done, and I was just like, I'm done. Like, man, this is I was tired of dodging stuff. So that phase is done, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't do that again because the boss is gonna die, but he might do it again if you take long enough. Alright, and that is the dungeon. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It helps out a ton, and I hope you take care and have a wonderful Christmas.